In the nursing home, talking sports. The 50-year anniversary of Autocat Talking Sports. For the Souz reviews, Kyle will review the remote.
It's actually a touch remote, but it doesn't seem to be doing the right thing right now. And oh my god, no.
Classic. That would be
wild.
That would be wild.
Wow. It's like the...
And spell that backwards. Wow.
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 Like the Owen Wilson. Wow. Hey guys. Wow. I work with my Owen Wilson.
It's okay. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, have you?
Doing well. It is freezing outside.
Yes.
Like,
freezing Friday.
Like, literally. Kyle and I went out, to dinner like we usually do before this episode. We just got done thawing out, even from being outside for like 2 minutes walking back to the cars. We literally turned into icicles, and we just got done, demelting.
Yeah.
There's not a giant puddle. You can't see it, but there's a giant puddle on the floor because we just got done thawing out.
Yeah. No, we were. I think they thought we were ice sculptures.
Yeah. I mean, the Winter Olympics are coming up, so we're sort of getting in the spirit.
I forgot about that. We'll have to.
Yeah.
That's a fun subject there. Nice.
Yeah. No, I'm not digging this weather, Kyle. I'm not digging it. Not digging the snow. I'm not digging the cold.
I don't mind actually.
Yeah,
but
you're part Canadian. So
I am. That is true.
You're just naturally. Excuse me.
Yes.
That's how I feel about the cold.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
You're just naturally more cold-blooded.
Yes.
Than I am. I can't even feel it.
That was very cold of you, Robbie.
Yeah, I just got my finger just froze trying to touch Kyle's arm. It's so cold-blooded. Anyway, getting into tonight's episode before I totally derail us further. Well, actually, first of all, as always, just quickly want to send a special shout out to our two sponsors, Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson. Thank you, as always, for your support of the show. And now I want to get into tonight's episode. So last week, Kyle and I had the occasion, as we do every so often, to attend a sporting event. This time, we headed just down the road from here to the lovely campus that is Babson College, nice local institution. And we had the occasion to take in their men's basketball team hosting Salve Regina. Exactly a week ago yesterday. But anyway,
right.
We're recording this on a Friday, so you guys do the math. But yeah, we saw Babson Salve Regina. It was a game that was won by Babson pretty handily.
Yeah.
Pretty convincing win by the Beavers. It was actually, the funny thing is, it was the second time in a week that I had been to a game over at Babson, because the week before I had actually seen Babson take on Kyle's alma mater, Wheaton College, which they won as well. So I sort of saw two, hang our heads in shame. But so I actually saw two Babson wins in the span of a week. But sticking with the game that both Kyle and I saw last Thursday, like I said, Babson pulled out the win against Salve Regina in pretty convincing fashion. So Kyle, I wanted to throw it right to you to sort of take us through, throwing you the ball, man. Throwing you the alley-oop. I'm alley-ooping you the ball, so you gotta throw it down. But no, I wanted to just get your reaction to, the game, the experience, the whole 9 yards, even though it wasn't football. Just what were your thoughts about taking in Babson and Salve?
I honestly, it felt like one of the quickest games I've been at because it's funny. I always feel like the games, like the college games, go by really fast because it's really only split up by like two halves. So it's like I thought it was very brisk, and yeah, you're right. Babson brought their A game. They were on fire, especially that second half there. Like that was wild. It was just a good time to see them play, and I hadn't been to a basketball game actually myself in a little while, so it was just kind of nice going and seeing live basketball. So
yeah, I do have to point out. Kyle says how quick the game felt to me. He showed up with a minute to go in the first half.
Okay, fair enough. I've heard about that detail, yes. Okay. That's right, yeah, there was only 1 minute.
Yeah, or like
maybe, was a bit longer,
maybe it was like 2 or 3 minutes, but still, you basically showed up at the end of the first half.
True. Even having, even with that in mind, for some reason they still feel like really fast. It's like
they do.
Like,
They honestly,
yeah, no, that's
they honestly do. No, I'm kind of giving you a hard time, but you are right. Well, I think what I mentioned this to you like at the time is the really nice thing about like that level college basketball is there's no TV timeouts. Like if you go to like a Boston College game or like one of these like local Division I games, like every 4 minutes of each half they have a TV timeout, and it just like makes the game like go on, the whole like 20 to 30 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Whereas for D3, obviously there are timeouts, called by each team, but even those are like maybe like a minute and a half long. Like they go by pretty quickly, and like halftime is like 15 minutes long. So if you add all it together, I think both of the games that I've been to over the last couple of weeks, and the game that Kyle and I went to, like both games were done. They both started at 7. I think they were done like at the absolute latest, like around 8:30 or so. Whereas like these D1 games, like a lot of times they'll go like 9 o'clock or like shortly after 9 o'clock, and all of that. But yeah, it was very nice, like to not have to be constantly like interrupted by like TV times, just be waiting through those. You just keep playing the straight basketball all the way through, which is very good, and it's free. Babson basketball games are free to go to too, which is another added benefit to it. So
yeah, it just makes the whole experience very smooth. You just get in, watch the game, then you leave, and it just felt like butter. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, and you also don't have to worry about like traffic getting out of the game like you do for like a D1 game. Obviously, there's just you can sort of zip in and out. The nice thing is for both the games, the sort of exit gate of Babson that's like closest to the gym was open like on both ends of the game, so it's very easy in and out. And it's like right down the road. At least for me, it's 5-10 minutes down the road, and obviously for Cal it's a little bit longer. But still, it's just a nice. You can kind of come and go from the game as you please and stuff like that. And just I think Kyle would agree. Babson just has a really nice athletics complex in general. Like the athletics center has always been just a nice place to come and watch a game, and like there's like the nice walking track that kind of goes around it, and then like they've got a pool in there as well, and like all these different things. So it's just a nice complex in general.
Yeah,
and the fields are right next to it and all of that. So definitely a good place to take in any sort of event and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. It's a good spot.
Yeah, but like I said, Babson, pulled out the win, and was good to see. And it was a good crowd on hand for the game. A lot of Beavers and some Salve Regina supporters. Babson had a little bit of a. And they don't get like big student sections like like the D1 games do, but like still they get a good little student crowd over. I know to one side of us who were definitely into it and stuff like that, which was good. So like I said, just overall, just a really fun time as always. Fun take. Yeah. Any other sort of thoughts that you want to give?
Well, one random thought I had, I just I liked the fact that. Because I had remembered, because I hadn't been to Babson in a while, and going back, it was just kind of funny because they're one of the only places that I've ever seen, I think, that, they have a basketball court on the first level, and then the upper level they have essentially like an indoor track that basically surrounds the whole
and it's
court.
a nice long track around. Like it's a pretty awesome. Decent distance around, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's like I think that might be the only whether it's like a college or just sports facility, that's the only place I've ever seen that has that kind of setup. And I think it's really awesome. It's like you can literally just go there, you can maybe jog for fun while watching potentially a basketball game. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I mean, we haven't been to too many other collegiate venues, especially at that level. But I'm even thinking like the ones we have been to, we went to a game at Brandeis a couple of years back, and we've been to a couple of games over at Tufts and stuff like that over the years. But neither of them have that sort of setup.
No,
for sure. I feel like the only one I can think of is maybe Wellesley College. I feel like I remember in their gym they have a track that kind of goes around it's on the same level though as the basketball court, but kind of goes around the outside of the basketball court there. But yeah, no, Babson's is definitely very unique and very cool in the sense that you're right, you can walk around or run around and watch a game if you really wanted to. So absolutely. So, but kudos to the Babson men's basketball team on an impressive victory last Thursday night, and we had a great time as always. I've been the last few years to a couple of Babson hockey games.
True.
But yeah, we have not had the occasion to go to a basketball game together. I've been to a few basketball games over there in the recent years, but no, it was really awesome, and we had a good time. So, speaking of awesome, kind of trying to segue, we're now going to move on to the second half of our episode with the Robbie's football recap and the Souz reviews, and we're actually going to kind of on both ends today, kind of collaborate together, Kyle and I, starting with the Robbie's football recap. I just got to look up one particular item. Perfect. Because, folks, as I mentioned last week, this past weekend was a huge weekend in the Robbie's football recap land because the New England Patriots were one win away from appearing in their first Super Bowl in 7 years as they took on the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game in Denver. And folks, they won. That's right. The Patriots won 10-7 to capture their first AFC Championship since the 2018 season, and now are headed to Super Bowl 60 to take on the Seattle Seahawks a week from this coming Sunday in San Francisco. And so, Kyle, I just wanted to get your reaction. Again, first time in 7 years, the Patriots are Super Bowl bound. Just your thoughts on that fact. I mean,
that's awesome. I caught bits and pieces of some of the more recent games, but it's just nice to hear that they're essentially back. I don't think it's going to be they're not going to have that legacy that they had with Belichick and Brady and all those other really incredible players and everything. But you know what? Listen, we had our run. It was great, and it's just nice to and I know we had a bit of a slump. The past several years we're the greatest, but you know what? That's okay. I think they just need a little more time to build up, and clearly they really did that this year, and I think there were even some signs of it in previous years, but this year they really seem to, even if they don't win the Super Bowl, at least they were in it this time, which is really cool. So
Kyle, I do have to disagree with you a little bit. The dynasty has been reborn, Kyle. With Drake May and Mike Vrabel, the dynasty is back. The Patriots are back and better than ever. Actually, I don't know that for sure, but I'm going to choose to to hype it up as much
All
as
right.
I can here, but it's just awesome. And Mike Vrabel's first year as the head coach, and Drake May's first year as the true starting quarterback. They make it all the way to the Super Bowl. No one expected this, Kyle. No one expected this. Even 3 weeks into the season, if you had told me that we'd be playing for a Super Bowl, I would have looked at you like you have 17 heads. It's mind-boggling. They're the Pats are going to the Super Bowl, Kyle. For the last 7 years, when it's come time for the Super Bowl, yeah, I mean, I've watched it.
7. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've watched the Super Bowl, all those years, I mean, I tune in. But, there hasn't been a whole lot to get hyped about because, our team hasn't been in it. Our team's in it this year, Kyle. We get to go through the hype as a fan of our participating team. It's going to be amazing. And there's still one more week to go before the game because they take a week off in between the championship game and the Super Bowl every year. So now we have one more week to go before they actually kick off. But, like I said, with that win, means it was another 1-0 week for the Robbie's Football Recap, which brings my record to 36-23.
Nice.
Overall in the Robbie's Football Recap. So, I will say that there will not be a Robbie's Football Recap this coming week, because obviously, as I said, sir, there is a week in between now. There's a week off before the Super Bowl, which will be a week from this coming Sunday. But there will be one final episode of the Robbie's Football Recap. It'll probably be, for our next episode, kind of a Robbie's Football Recap / Super Bowl recap. Because I know kind of like to come on and talk about the commercials and the game and all that stuff. But yeah, so there will be one more Robbie's Football Recap for this 2025-26 football season, and it's going to be amazing. And hopefully we're talking about a Pats Super Bowl win, but we shall see. Anyway, that is it for the Robbie's Football Recap portion of our sort of, like I said, stop, collaborate, and listen sort of that portion of the episode here. Now, I am going to toss the proverbial microphone or hand the proverbial microphone over to Kyle so that he can lead us in this week's Souz Reviews. So, take it away.
Cool. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do on the Souz Reviews, just because I had literally heard this news, I want to say a few hours ago, actually, right as I was leaving work. And I had just found out that, or we both obviously just found out that famed actress Catherine O'Hara had just passed away today. And that really made me upset because she's actually one of my favorite actresses. And, I feel like Robbie and I essentially grew up watching, any amount of her movies. I feel like most of the movies I watched, she was always just kind of in all these random different types of movies. She was always more of a comedic actress. She kind of took on some more serious roles, I would say recently, but she always kind of went in and out of serious roles, but she was always to me more of one of my favorite comedic actresses. And it was just really unfortunate to hear of her passing, and I think she had some kind of illness it was a very rare illness she had, and it was just really nothing's really we haven't heard the exact cause or anything, but they did mention that she had kind of an a very rare condition that a lot of people think that led to this. So it was just really unfortunate to hear, and actually this is why I wanted to bring Robbie in on this, we just wanted to talk about kind of what how we felt about her, and just what were what are some of our favorite movies that she was in. So yeah, I was going to start with you, Robbie. Were there any movies that you remember growing up watching? Or
yeah, I mean, obviously the big one, the main one that I or series of movies, I guess you could call it, that I saw with her was obviously the Home Alone movies, where she famously played the mom, Kevin McAllister's mom, in both Home Alone 1 and 2. And I know Macaulay Culkin posted a very nice, heartfelt tribute to her today on his Instagram page, which you folks can get at home can go look up for sure, because I definitely wouldn't do it justice. But yeah, I mean, she was kind of. It seemed like she was perfect for that role.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because she actually just recently kind of. I don't know what the right word is to describe it, but like she kind of made fun of, her role in the 2 Home Alone movies and a series of commercials that she did recently with Kevin Hart.
That's right.
Yeah, she kind of like sort of she brought back that sort of classic line of hers, Kevin. During I forget what the commercials were for, but yeah, she and Kevin Hart collaborated. Sort of like this, kind of poking fun a little bit at her role as the mom in the Home Alone movies. But yeah, I mean, she was a very talented actress. I mean, I hate to say it, but other than the Home Alone movies, I didn't see like I don't remember a whole lot of like her work. I'm sure if I looked back, I could probably find other things of hers like I've seen over the years and stuff like that. But obviously, Home Alone is the one that really jumps out when you think about when I think about her. And yeah, I mean, it's just very sad that she has passed away, and obviously we send our thoughts and our condolences to her family and friends during this time. And yeah, she'll be missed. And obviously somebody made the point online, it's true, at least we'll get to enjoy her every holiday season from now on. Obviously Home Alone, both Home Alone movies, kind of classic Christmas movies that have withstood the test of time. So
yeah, like it's because I remember actually when I was growing up too, I think the first movie I watched with her, and it was actually Beetlejuice, was the original Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's right, she was in Beetlejuice. Yeah, that's right.
She was Winona Ryder's. She played Winona Ryder's actually stepmom in that. It was and I just loved her she had this incredible energy to like all the roles she played, whether it was like a more serious one or a comedic role, or she just had this great energy she always brought, and she was always really funny. Like I just loved her presence in basically any movie whether it was like Home Alone, Beetlejuice, and I think one of my favorite sets of movies that she's ever done, in my opinion, I personally loved the Christopher Guest movies, and I'm talking about it's basically like a movie. It's a set of movies where I don't know if you guys know director Christopher Guest, who was actually married to Jamie Lee Curtis. Fun fact. Christopher Guest he's like a former SNL, I believe, actor and writer. I think he wrote some stuff in SNL, and he definitely acted in certain skits. He ended up actually making a set of movies that had kind of like reoccurring cast members. He was involved with making Spinal Tap. That was actually the very first one that he did. She wasn't in that one. But then when he went on to direct movies, he actually started with like movies like Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. And then she actually was brought on, Waiting for Guffman being the first one. And just those movies, they kind of started the whole mockumentary sort of genre. And I just love watching those. Like it's very similar to if you guys have ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie and the TV show. It's very much just like sort of like they take like a very interesting like a random topic, like Waiting for Guffman's about like like someone who wants to do a musical about this like small town called Blaine. So they do like a musical because it's like the stool capital of the world, and like, oh, how did they make their stools? And it's so random, it's so like ridiculous. And then Best in Show being like all these completely insane in their own way dog owners that just they all decide to compete in the Best in Show competition, and they're all kind of set up in this like mockumentary way, and she pretty much is like my favorite character in every one of these movies. Like she just always brought so much great energy to it, and she was so funny, and she was very zany, and just kind of like I just love watching those. Oh my god, like you guys have to see them. Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, For Your Consideration. That was a later one. Even Mighty One was good. That was about country music. That was, they're all just great. And yeah, she always was just such a great actress. And even recently she was in shows like, Last of Us, and this one with Seth Rogen that she did. I think it was called, I can't remember it's on Apple, but she was in a Seth Rogen show, which is really funny. And also the one that I think that everyone knows, pretty much everyone nowadays knows her from, is Schitt's Creek. That's the one that people constantly, I think, like refer to her for and everything. So, or refer, that's just the one that they all, know her from pretty much. So, so no, it was really sad to hear her passing. And, I, like you said, Robbie, you said it best. Like I do, I do feel, I do really feel for her family and friends. And it's really sad to hear a great actress like that. And she seemed like a really great person. So, so that's just what I wanted to say. So,
well, I think you summed it up perfectly as well, and she'll be missed. So rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. All right, so we are going to wrap up tonight's episode. If you want to drop a comment about anything you've heard tonight, whether it be about Babson or the Patriots or Catherine O'Hara, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Also, while you're on it, as long as you're here, give us a like, give us a subscription, ring the bell, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And listen, we are here also on Twitter. We're here on YouTube, but we're also on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So, definitely give some follows on all forms of social media. And speaking of following, please be sure to give a follow also to our two sponsors, Simon Organizing and Wes Woodson, who we, as always, thank for the support. So, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Thank you, everybody, as always, for tuning in. And until next time, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and we'll see you next time on a couch. Bye, everybody.